Hello, welcome back to Uzi Talking To with Eddie Williams as my guest. This is part 3. This is more trucker tales because I always want to ask truckers because I get really pissed off when I'm driving and I see 2 trucks. One's in the slow lane and one's in the middle lane, and for miles they just keep chugging along, which then bottlenecks everybody to go to the fast lane. But every time I go to a fast lane, there's always a Skoda going 65 miles an hour. So there's like a big bottleneck, and I'm thinking, it's all because of these bastard truckers. Hey mate, but you can't really argue with truckers.
It's, to be honest, it is the truck driver's fault. But, in a way, it's not. It's the government. They've limited trucks to 56 miles.
It's the government's fault.
So, yeah, everything's the government's fault, yeah. What it is, basically, just to clear that up, this wagon here is fully loaded, 44 ton. This wagon here, he's 23 ton, whatever.
Okay.
They're both doing 56 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Everything's passing them. It's a little bit of a hill. This fella's 44 ton, so he slows down to about 50 mile an hour because he's lugging away.
Yeah.
This fella's still at 56. He'll start passing him. They level out at the top. They're both doing 56 again. So instead of this dickhead just backing off and going in, he'll carry on. Or instead of this fella letting off a bit to let him pass, they carry on. Professional lorry drivers, what they'll do there, he'll slow down to let him in, or he'll slow back off and let him in. But all these big companies are limited to 55, 56 mile an hour. The odd truckers who own the drivers, and you know, you can get 57, 58, 59. So you get going.
So the limit's on 70 for like normal cars and like you know, the 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, trucks are limited. Well, in the highway code, trucks are limited to 60 mile an hour. But because Europe brought in the 56 mile an hour thing, we have to have them limited to 56 mile an hour. But another thing, what you'll find now with trucks, all the trucks are now automatic. You get the odd ones with a manual gearbox, but most of them are automatic. You just press them, you can drive it.
Okay.
But what you find now, you be at a roundabout or a set of lights or something, and these automatic gearboxes aren't as quick as a manual gearbox.
Ah, that's why they're always slow.
So you go to pull off, you've got everything coming down the roundabout, and you put your foot down. The wagon makes all the noise, but there's nothing there, because it's already changing the gear too quick. And people end up flying around you like...
So, because a lot of people want to say, hey, there's not bad lorry drivers.
There is a lot of not bad lorry drivers.
Yeah, but obviously what you're trying to say, you know, with the thing, that's something to learn. I never knew that. Moving on, I mean, have you ever had any, or your friends in the trucking game, because there's always been horrendous lorry crashes, you know, trucks.
I've seen a lot, touch wood, I've never...
What's the worst one you heard, you know, in a truck?
I was looking at one the other day, my mate sent me a load of photographs, and it was snowing abroad, and one of the wagons hit it, but he hit the back of the trailer, and the cab just folded, and there was nothing left of the cab. The trailer had hit the back of the cab, that had hit that, and it was flattened.
It's just crushed completely, yeah.
But the fella got out with cuts and bruises.
How was that?
You have a look on YouTube at Volvo or Scania. Volvo is the best.
Oh, like a roll cage.
Yeah. That wagon will squash you, there's not left of them, but it's actually got stuff in it where he'll be like that, and everything will be here. And he's alright, he's cocooned in airbags and...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In airbags, yeah.
They've come on a long way now, trucks.
Yeah. You don't see many fatalities with truck drivers, no. I've seen a video the other day, I mean, this is going on the set, where sheep crossed the road, or I think it was it was sheep. So these cars slowed down in the fast lane, and they all got out the car, because obviously I think they hit each other, and then it was horrible to see. I think a woman got on the other side, and this truck was coming down, and it didn't slow down, and it sort of took them all out.
Bastards. Oh, I've seen that video,
yeah.
He took all the sheep out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably never seen them.
Yeah.
You ever seen a sheep in the morning?
No.
You can hardly see it, unless it looks at you.
Oh, I see. So, yeah, because obviously it's like the white.
It blends in with the light.
Yeah, so, look.
One of the funniest things there with the wagon, I was driving abroad, and we used to go to Spain. We used to take the chocolate powder to Spain, to the Kellogg's factory in Spain, Tarragona it was, just by Salou. So you'd have a weekend in Salou. It was good. But I used to always go to La Jonquera on the border of France, south of France and Spain. And the only way to describe La Jonquera, it's like Mexico in the films, you know, when the gangsters and everything.
Yeah.
So you used to go there and you get all the cheap ciggies and all that. So buy all these ciggies, backy and everything. Come out, happy days, go and sell them. So I got this new Volvo. We used to have F12s and they brought the F8 out, we had the F8 version 1. And what I found, they had a big eye top and they had a light board at the front. But inside it used to fold down and there's a big void, big open space of nothing. I thought, they're all going in there. Shuts it up. Now, bearing in mind I drove from Spain down to Calais. So, I'll tell you when it was. It was when the immigrants had first started getting to Calais and all this. So they brought in the gas thing, you used to put the gas thing into the trailer, see if there was any breath. So you used to pull up and you'd have to walk down to book in, so I'm walking down, this Irish fella's walking towards me. So the wagon's behind me, I've left it running, lights on and all that. So I'm walking along, this Irish fella goes, alright, then you have a Volvo there. And I said, yes, it's lovely, isn't it, mate? And as I turns round like that, he goes, that's turn them lights off. And I turned round, and all the headboards lit up. You couldn't even see the name, all you could see was Benson and Hedges and Golden Virginia. And I went, okay now. I was running back. But when I get to the thing, there's a woman there, but they're English on the French side. The woman said to me, she said, have you got anything to declare? So I said, couple of ciggies and what have you. And she went, leave them lights off when you come in here. And stamped it. And I said, thank you. So I'm driving to the boat with the lights off and everything, and everyone's going, lights? And I'm going, yeah, thank you.
Touching on to obviously what's going on now with all the illegal immigrants. Do you ever come across?
Yeah, I've had them. I remember going, years ago when it first started, we used to go to Peru and all that in France. Because you used to remember when everyone wanted the little bottles and all that. Yeah. I'd go and do a load of shopping before I got back on the boat or whatever. And I went in once and I come out and I had a taut liner trailer, which is a young thing of buckles and it slides open and all that. I had magazines on, you know, for the middle of your newspaper.
Oh yeah.
So the pallets were only about that.
Okay.
So it comes out and this French fella comes in, Monsieur. I said, bonjour, monsieur. He goes, un camion, he says, people steal. I said, oh, right. I said, thank you. So I walked over and I thought, I'll just open it because it wasn't sealed or not.
Yeah.
So I was on the curtain, I just pulled the curtain right open and it flew open. There's a new trailer, it just flew open. I said, well, 25 of them sat on the top of the magazines, all just sat there like that. So I went off, and one of them went, no. I went, so get off. So this firm from Runcorn was one of their wagons there, and he come over, and he's a bit of a nutcase. Yeah, he had like a big bar. And he goes, I'll sort these out for you. He's climbing up. Get off. Anyway, you got off. But after that, it got worse. It was getting bad. They were getting killed and everything, but this is how desperate they were back then. I know this Irish fella, he was driving along, and one of them had been clinging to the axle.
Yeah.
But it was that cold, he fell off the axle and he bounced. And he hit him. He didn't see him come out, he does. And he hit him. So that's how desperate he was.
Desperate now, yeah.
He clinging to an axle of a trailer in the winter.
Did you see the colour, you know, with the, what was it?
I've seen it all.
The shanty kind of.
Yeah. It was, you could smell it.
Yeah.
You could smell it. You used to come down. You go past the food factory on the motorway and you get the aroma of that food factory. When you were coming down to where the shanty is and all that, you used to come down, especially if you were going fast. In the summer, you'd get this smell coming the vents, and it just smell like shit. You know when you've been to the someone's been to the toilet and you go in the toilet and you go, fucking hell, been in there.
Yeah.
That smell used to come in, you smell. But you used to know when they were around you. See, all these checks and all this caper and all that, they might as well do away with them all, save themselves some money, and just have them where the boat is, and come down, and because they stink of fire, they smell like an old piece of firewood. You can smell them like that.
Yeah.
You can smell. If one of them walked in here now, you'd think the house was on fire. That's how strong the fire is.
Some of them are genuine. I mean, obviously, did you feel sorry for them, or?
Well, see, what I found with them, you never used to see women and children. They used to all stay in the town. And a lot of people say, oh, it's just the people, it's the boys, old lads. But what it was, they used to leave the women and children in that village, in the shanty.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to get over, because as soon as they get over here, they can then say, my kids and missus are over here. So the missus and kids don't have to get in a trailer and all that. They get flown over there. So that's what it's all about. That's why you never see the women and children. But the worst one I seen was, I worked for Airbus, and we used to take the wings down the south of France, but the trailers were that big. You used to have to go to Caen or the Havre. But when you're coming into Caen, there's all ditches, like on the side of the road. And it's dead funny, you used to come down of the night, headlights would be on. The next thing all you'd see was all these eyes. And it just looked like cat's eyes on the road, but it was all the people in the ditches. Because Caen's a little tight town.
Yeah.
And you'd be coming through with a big massive, the wing trailers were massive. So you'd have to slow down, and you'd come round, blah, blah, blah. They'd all be jumping on them and all that.
What's your solution? You think, sometimes thinking, why don't they just build a big stadium, or, because, or how are they going to get out of this problem at the old? What do you think?
That's the only solution you're going to get is just open it up. I mean, they go on that you've got to apply for asylum in what the first country you meet. So why do they all come to England? Because they're coming from over here. They've got to come through the whole of Europe to get to England. So that one's out the window. So why aren't all the Italians and the Germans and all this? Why aren't they all? Which they have, but you only have to see Germany now for what it's become. But it's not going to go away. But to be honest with you, a lot of them Iraqi asylum seekers, the people in England are moaning about them trying to get over here. We started that.
How?
With the wars. Blair and Bush. Do you know what I mean? We created the problem, which is a big thing that they don't look at. We've created a problem. If Iraq started bombing this country and we were all bombed to hell and all that, you'd be wanting to get out, wouldn't you? You've got to look at the source of the problem. And like I've just said, they've got to be desperate to get out. Yeah. Now, you look at some of them, and they're just young chancellors. They're not bothered. And see, this is what the news always sort of portray. They never look at the older ones. You know what I mean? And I've seen old men, and they're broken. They're broken men. And you only have to look at them to know that they're broken. When you're looking at a broken man, because you look at his eyes and he's broken. And the news never show that.
Because you're like on the front line, because you're driving all the time.
You have them climbing on the mirrors and everything, you just put your windows in and everything. They rob your wagon, or, there's people going through in cars and they find them. Did you see that video of that fella? No. And they had them in the roof rack on the top. And he was mortified, the fella, that these people had climbed. And the woman was fuming, because they threw her suitcases away to get in the thing. All the stuff all the good gear's gone.
There you go. More trucking tales are coming, part 4. Thank you very much. Take care of your ears.